Hi, friends. This is Dr. Arpita Gupta Dipalma, and you're listening to my podcast, From Pissed Off to Poised. This show is for busy women physicians and professionals just like you who are ready to take control of their emotions while learning how to excel in juggling all the things they are responsible for in life. It's for overextended mamas who are trying to figure out how to work smarter, not harder. It's for multitasking women who are tired of playing the role of the angry and resentful air traffic controller, who simply want to learn how to create a life that is more calm, intentional, and joyful for themselves. My goal is to help you learn how to eliminate the overwhelm and maintain your composure in high-stress situations that you face with the demands in your day-to-day life. Because I get you guys, this was totally me. You are not alone. I invite you to embark on your journey of transformation with me. Enjoy the listen. Hi guys, welcome back. I appreciate you joining me this week, and I am excited to teach you guys a little bit about strategies for intentional living so that we can really create this life of our dreams with, just kind of doing the things we really want to do and getting rid of the things that we are not so crazy about that we don't have to be doing. So this is going to piggyback a little bit on last week's episode with Dr. Sarah Smith, where we talked about not taking work home, but I'm going to take it to the next level by talking to you a little bit about how we can start to build in the intentionality more so in our lives with each day. And so I'm going to make this a two-part episode where in the beginning, the first half, we're going to talk about really building that awareness like we talked about in the first half about around the anger, but building that awareness around where we are currently spending our time. So I want to start with just asking you guys a couple of questions. And I want you to think about this and reflect on your own when you get a chance. But how many of you would like to really build space into your schedule to do things that are meaningful and important to you? And then after you've thought about that, how many of you believe that you just really don't have the time to do it? Like there's just too much stuff going on living this rat race life that you have. And so the thing is, we all have the same 24 hours in each and every day. And we have to be intentional with how we are spending our most precious asset, and that's time. So we can do the things that are important to us that we want to put in and put those in first so that we can be living a life of intention. Oftentimes we say we can't do things because we very quickly just kind of blurt out that I don't have the time or I'm too busy. And this is because we've gotten stuck in the routine of what's become familiar for us, these hamster wheel type of days. It has become so familiar, so comfortable, and so routine for us that we don't even think about snapping ourselves out of it. And this comfort is what's not allowing for us to make any changes. So we have to be intentional about creating that time in order to create balance. Jana Kingsford says, balance is not something you find, it's something that you create. So from my point of view, you have to put the energy into doing it. And that's what I want to talk about with you guys today. So in order to do this, the first step, like I said already, is awareness, right? And so we have to really figure out what we want to create, and we need to reflect on where we currently are in order to do that. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself as you're building this awareness is, what thoughts currently consume you regarding where you are in your life and what you're wanting to do with your life? We can develop this self-awareness by taking an honest inventory of where you are currently spending your brain energy currently. We have so much control over this if we take a minute to really reflect about it, okay? Because our thoughts create our feelings, not the circumstances and situations that we face in our life. And our feelings can deplete our energy if we're not very careful. So where do you find yourself spinning in your brain? Like where are you perseverating or ruminating? And is it serving you? Where are you essentially kind of stuck? For me, I would find myself thinking, I don't have time to do this. I'm so busy. I've got all the things going on with the office. There's no way I'm going to be able to start this new project. I've been wanting to, for example, start our basement. And I'm like, I just don't have time to fit it in to get all the contractors out here. And the thing is, when we are telling ourselves these stories over and over and over, it keeps us stuck in the inertia of just being in the current state. It doesn't propel us forward. So I want you to spend a couple of moments thinking about where are you finding yourself telling yourself stories about why you can't move forward with a certain task or goal that you're trying to achieve. The second question I want you to ask yourself is, are you failing ahead of time? And so what do I mean by this? I.e., I'm asking you, are you not starting because of a fear that you might have that would come along with starting, or because of the comfort that you are now sitting in, cozy and happy, of being stagnant? I want you to notice the fears that you have, because these fears are what are preventing you from changing. This is what's creating that resistance you have towards making a change. So I want you to notice what obstacles you are being blocked by. And then when you identify the obstacles, can you analyze them a little bit deeper and see, are they really that big, or might they be smaller than they really seem? Can you predict which obstacles that you think you're going to face and then actually even solve for them before you even have them hit you in your life? So where are you failing ahead of time because of not even starting? Finally, the third question that I want you to think about is, what is your compelling why? What matters most to you? Why is it so important for you to achieve this thing? And this is going to incorporate your core values, your life's meaning and purpose, your priorities, all of the things. So your compelling why is one that I want you to think of that will help you push through the crap when the going gets tough. It's going to help you keep on going when you don't want to anymore. This is what is a compelling why. So for me, I have a couple of compelling whys. The first one, with regards to starting my business, ThoughtWork MD, when I did that a couple of years ago, was number one, I want to help do something that I enjoy doing that also supplements our family income so that my husband might be able to step down a little bit, not have to work so hard. Number two, I want to help women physicians who were in the same boat that I was in 4 or 5 years ago, who felt stuck, who felt angry, who felt like they just really were not experiencing the joy of life anymore. And for me, one of the biggest incentives was being able to cultivate that relationship that I wanted with my kids. So my compelling why is helping women who are in the same boat that I was in and helping my husband loosen up his grip with how much he has to work at the office so that I can kind of help carry the load with him. Those are two of them. Those were my compelling whys behind the goal of reaching a business. So the way you're going to work through this is, what is a goal that you have in your life? And then what is the compelling why that you can remind yourself of, that you can keep in your back pocket and pull out when you feel like giving up, when you feel like quitting and you don't want to do it anymore. So just to recap, when you're building the awareness around how you want to start implementing this intentional living, you're going to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, what thoughts are currently consuming you? I.e., where is your energy drain happening? What shitty stories are you telling yourself? Number 2, where are you failing ahead of time? What obstacles is your brain making up? And are they maybe even actually smaller in reality when you start to think about them and start to solve for them? And number 3, what is your compelling why? The thing that's going to keep you going no matter what. All right. So after you have done that, we get to start to then analyze and decide what we want to put into our lives. And what I'm going to do next week is really start to give you some of these strategies. I'm going to talk about the first and most important one today, because if you're not doing this, this is the one that I want you to do. Now, when I talk about this with women physicians, when I give talks on this, I very clearly say and know that we are all badass women physicians, high achievers, that we're wanting to do all of the things. And the trouble with this is, when I give you 10 strategies, if you try to do all 10 of them at once and start squishing them into your life, it's not going to happen. You're setting yourself up for failure when you do that. So what I'm going to do is offer the 10 to you in the next episode. I'm going to offer the first one to you today. And if you're not already doing that one, that's the one I want you to do. You're going to get to pick 1 or maybe 2 of all 10 strategies that I'm offering to you, and that is it. I want you to start with a minimum baseline. The reason I do this is because when we start small, our brain doesn't see it as such a big hurdle to jump over. It doesn't seem like an insurmountable goal. And so we are going to give ourselves permission to be baby step workers here. So 1 or 2 of the 10 strategies that I'm going to give you, and this is where you're going to get to start. You get to give yourself permission to start small. What I want you guys to realize is that when we start small like this and we actually start doing it, and then we do it again the next week, and we do it again the next week, we're actually rebuilding trust in ourselves that we're able to do what we commit to. We're able to do what we say we're going to do. And that's part of the problem for when we are not doing that. Okay. We don't have this trust and this faith that we're going to be able to honor our commitments. And that starts to chip away at our psyche. So what I want you to do is this one thing. If you're not already doing it, start small. Then we'll go through the rest of them next week in the next episode. So the first and most important strategy is scheduling your me time first into your calendar each week. And then not only scheduling it, but actually honoring it. So what do I mean by me time? This is truly your rest time. And rest is different than play or exercise or a mani and pedi. Rest is truly just resting. Okay. And I want you to ask yourself, how often do you actually allow yourself to do this? This includes relaxation, mindfulness, meditation, rest, and sleep. All of these things are included in the body of rest. And so if you're already sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night, which is really kind of the minimum that we should all be getting, because that's when our body's cells really get to heal and get ready for the next day. If you're already doing that, then I want you to pick one additional item to put in. If you're not doing that, I want you to maybe make a commitment to getting a little bit more sleep each night, maybe adding 30 minutes more. So going to bed 30 minutes earlier each night. That's how we're going to start this. Really small baby steps. We are not able to pour from an empty reservoir without it having ramifications on ourselves. So this is why this is so important. All right. You have to refill your cup, recharge yourself in order to continue giving at the rate that you are giving at. I remember a couple of years ago when I did start ThoughtWork MD, I was so excited about this company and I was so excited about doing this work with other women that I just kept going. I wanted to build the website and start the social media posts with the content, and I wanted to figure out my logo and all the things. And I was working my butt off because it was just really kind of effortless. But what I didn't realize is that I wasn't actually recharging myself in between. And so lo and behold, one weekend, I had a plan to get a bunch of social media posts done and emails and et cetera, et cetera. And I went outside with my laptop and I literally felt like my brain was trudging through mud. I could not think. And I knew the tasks that I had at hand were actually quite simple, very easy for me to work through and kind of troubleshoot and get to the end of. Yet I wasn't able to do it efficiently. It was taking me almost 4 or 5 times the amount of time to do the exact same task. So I literally had to force myself to stop working, shut the laptop, and just sit by the pool and veg and just rest. That was so enlightening for me because I realized that it took me so much longer to recuperate from not giving myself those intermittent periods of rest than had I done so, if I had built it in. And so just noticing that we aren't able to reach our full potential of what we can offer to others if we don't give ourselves and our bodies what we need first, which is rest. We have to begin to normalize that rest is a part of work. It's required. It's not optional in order for us to be our best selves. One of the other things that I do regularly, and I think I might have talked about it, is I go to Miraval twice a year. And Miraval is a wellness resort. There's 3 locations, Arizona, Austin, and Berkshires in Massachusetts. And I have gifted myself this splurge for my own mental health, well-being, and to be able to fully recharge and reset twice a year, because this does it for me. I know it. I can feel it as soon as I walk onto the property. So I would highly suggest finding something that works for you. It doesn't have to be a vacation. It doesn't have to be a trip, but maybe it's giving yourself one weekend day a month to just sit out and do nothing, have nothing scheduled, and just kind of go with what comes with your heart. We have to normalize, again, like I said, that rest is part of working. So as badass women, we work hard, we play hard, and we have to rest hard. So if you haven't done so already, if you're not sleeping 6 hours a night, I would recommend to make it 6 hours at the minimum. And that's your goal for the next couple of weeks. Or if you want to build in a little more, you still feel tired when you wake up in the morning. Maybe aside from getting a sleep study, maybe you need to build in a little bit more time. If you are sleeping enough each week, what other thing can you build in now, starting at minimum baseline, that would help you rest and recharge? Do you want to meditate maybe 5 minutes once a week, starting really small again so that it's something that you can do and setting it up during a time where you know it's really going to happen? For me, I meditate in the morning. I brush my teeth. I do my gratitude journal and my what went wells. I go and stretch for 15 to 20 minutes to get the creaks and kinks out of my body, finish getting ready, and then I go meditate. The house is quiet, okay, at that time. My husband's leaving, or if he hasn't left yet, he's about to leave, and everybody is taken care of. So I get that time because I know if I don't do it right then, it's not going to happen. And I've gotten to the point where I'm meditating anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes every morning of every day, because I know if I don't do that, my glitter is all over the place. My brain is scattered. My energy is frazzled. And I show up with that energy everywhere I go throughout the day. So this empowers me to have a space where I can settle the glitter, where I can regroup and recharge and be ready for my day. Okay, guys. So today is short and sweet because next week we're going to talk about the other 9 strategies for intentional living. And like I said, I want you to start thinking about those 3 questions that we talked about in the first half of the episode. What thoughts are consuming you? Are you failing ahead of time, or where are you failing ahead of time? And what is your compelling why? That's what I want you to think about and really reflect on first. And then building in, starting at minimum baseline, your rest time, okay? Your self-care, which is rest. How are you going to do it? And start doing that small, once a week, twice a week, whatever works for you. That is a commitment that you can honor and realistic, and put that in. All right. So once you've done that, come back next week and I'm going to go through the rest of the strategies. And there's some good ones here. Okay. Because we're going to talk about things that a lot of us do, like needing everything to be perfect and A+ with our work, like having all the clutter all over our house and in our desk, and how it actually impacts our minds and how we show up. We're going to talk about all the different little things and all the different areas that really I've started to incorporate. I do all 10 of them now, at some degree, in some form, in some area of my life, and it has been a complete game changer. All right, ladies, I will talk to you next week. I look forward to hearing from you if you have any feedback, and I am excited about sharing these strategies with you. Take care. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of From Pissed Off to Poised. Remember, transformation is a journey, not a destination. So enjoy the ride. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review From Pissed Off to Poised on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback supports my mission to get this podcast out to help other women physicians and professionals like you on their path to creating a more peaceful life with more intention and more joy. I enjoy reading every message I get with your input and feedback on my journey, so keep them coming. And if you have a friend who might enjoy the listen, please share this episode and show with them. Lastly, if you want to learn more about my coaching programs and course offerings, check out my website at www.thoughtworkmd.com. Feel free to reach out to me to learn more about investing in yourself through one-to-one coaching so you can start living the life you've always wanted. This show is for general educational and entertainment purposes only. Life coaching is not a substitute for therapy or medical treatment.